You're listening to the official start of your NFL week. You're listening to the opening whistle. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the opening whistle, the Super Bowl edition of the opening whistle. I'm Albert Albanese.
I'm Avi Schiffman.
And, of course, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at the Slam Sessions. And where can they find you, Avi?
You can find me at Avi Schiffman88.
Beautiful. So, I mean, I guess there's only one thing to talk about, right? You know,
We're talking about soccer, right?
Yeah. Oh, there was some game that was on Sunday?
Yeah, some soccer game or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was that big game, Sunday night.
Oh, the big game.
The football
right.
game, yeah.
Oh, the football thing, right.
Yeah. Albert, let me ask you first. You're wife's you're a Patriots fan, right? Big Patriots fan. What was that household like? What was it like at the end of the game?
I'll give you a brief run through. So at halftime, I kind of sat back with a smile on my face because I was like, "Oh, this is going great. This is the best thing I could have asked for. This is perfect."
But in the back of your mind,
a
little bit.
In the back of my mind, I did. I was still a little bit scared because I know the Patriots are a great second half team, and it's not only that my wife is a big Patriots fan. My wife's mom and her boyfriend are both huge Patriots fans. So I'm in there with three dejected human beings and me with a smile on my face thinking, Atlanta's winning. This is great. They're kicking the crap out of them. The Patriots don't seem like they have it. This is perfect. But, my wife's mom's boyfriend reminded me, remember the adjustments that the Patriots can make at halftime. Remember how good of a team they are. This is not an insurmountable comeback. And to a point, I agreed. I thought there was a chance. But then I also realized that no other team has come up from a 10-point deficit in a Super Bowl ever. So I still kind of felt confident. And I thought that Atlanta moved the ball so well and they were playing such good offense that wasn't just going to magically stop. And as good as the New England defense has been, it's just something that maybe we can I was going to get into a little bit later, but we can go into this now. This is the first top 10 ranked quarterback the Patriots faced the entire season. I mean, Roethlisberger was the only one who I guess was.
And this is probably an MVP, the number one quarterback. They placed the number one quarterback in the league this year.
Exactly. So I was all confident in the fact that this game was pretty much wrapped up. And let me tell you something. By the end of the third quarter, cheers started coming out. Cheers turned into screams. Screams turned into jumping up and down. And I just could not get out of there fast enough.
I was so excited to talk about this game with you. There's so many things in this game that were just unbelievable.
Oh my God. We texted a little bit during the game. I mean, there was a lot of big plays in this game, a lot of game-changing plays, and a lot of game changers in just players on the field. Some you expected and some you didn't.
Yeah, and obviously you had a great national anthem that I performed.
Yes. If you guys didn't see, Avi, perform a rousing rendition of the national anthem. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up the pictures. You'll see it.
Yeah. So besides that, I was completely shocked. I mean, I know the Falcons have the most explosive offense in the league this year. I was very shocked though when they went up that big. But I was sitting back the whole time. Everybody else was like, "Oh, I want to see a blowout. I hate the Patriots." I'm like, "Yeah, I hate the Patriots too, but I love football and I want to see a close game." Everybody wants to see that,
of course.
And I was saying when they were down, I'm like, "It's not over. You still have Tom Brady. They're still going to make adjustments. You have Tom Brady. They're down a lot. It's going to take a lot. But everything that went wrong for the Falcons went right for the Patriots. It's just complete twist, complete opposite. They went in complete opposite directions. And when they went down 2 scores, they were down 16 points. I was saying, listen, they need the touchdown. Yeah, it's tough. They need a touchdown and 2-point conversion. They need 2 times. But, once they got that first one, it just seemed like the momentum was just changing. There's so many, we'll talk about it. There's so many plays. And I have some issues with the play calling. I'm sure you do too.
Absolutely.
Which was unbelievable. It was just, but I want to see a close game, and it was. And and I said I want overtime. They scored twice to get 2-point conversions. It's going to overtime. You never saw that in the Super Bowl. Who doesn't want to see overtime? Honestly, it doesn't matter how much you hate the Patriots. You want to see the most exciting game you can see.
I always feel like the graphics are the biggest jinx in the history of sports. And I was sitting back there, and I think it was when the Patriots were maybe they were even down by 2 touchdowns. Maybe they were only down by the touchdown and 2-point conversion at the time. They flashed the graphic on the screen. a Super Bowl game has ever gone into overtime. And in my head, and then I had to say it out loud because I knew who I was watching it with, and I just wanted to admit it out loud. I went, well, this game is going to watch. I guarantee this game is now going to overtime.
And it's shocking that no game really has ever gone to overtime in the Super Bowl. It's pretty incredible.
You think the two best
so many
teams
games go to overtime all the time, and you think so. And how many close games there were in Super Bowls?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And yeah, I knew there was no overtime, but I wanted to see it. But I knew if it got to overtime with the way it was going, we knew who was going to win that game in the end.
Absolutely. Well, I guess let's get into some of the parts of the game that were some surprising, some controversial, some of the biggest plays that we've ever seen in Super Bowl history. And I guess you got to start with the Super Bowl MVP, Tom Brady, 466 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, what else can you say about this guy?
We spoke about it last week, and I was saying, listen, if they get to Brady, if they get pressure on him, which they did. They hit Brady so much, and you were thinking, this game, there's no way they're going to come back the way they're playing. Brady got hit the most he probably got ever hit in a game in his career.
I remember just watching, and this was probably midway
like 16 hits.
Yeah, I mean, midway through the third quarter, they put up a graphic that he was hit 11 times, and they still didn't stop hitting him after that.
It's unbelievable, and you think, and that was the way, and that's what they were doing. Their defense was dominant. They couldn't, they were just rolling, and it's little things, they lost the Super Bowl. I don't know if the Patriots won it. They had an amazing comeback, but the Falcons really blew it also,
Yeah.
And where do you want to start? Like, which play do you want to talk about? There's so many plays, so many parts of this game that were just, I guess we should just go to the second half because the first half was just all Falcons.
It was. And, I was impressed. We always talk, I mentioned on this podcast every week when we talk about the Patriots that Bill Belichick likes to eliminate the biggest weapon on the opposite team. Now, we both agreed that was going to be Julio Jones this week. And for a little while, it kind of worked. But then Matt Ryan started flowing a little bit. He started connecting with Julio, made a bunch of really big passes. One of those sideline passes was phenomenal.
Okay, that play we're talking about in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The game that we thought that play was like, that sealed the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody thought it sealed the game. When he caught that ball, well, first of all, Julio Jones knew he caught that ball.
Oh,
you could
of course.
tell.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't sure, but you could see his reaction. You knew he caught it. But when you see that play, you're like, okay, you got to see this replay. And then he got that one, and he clearly got the second one. And I'm like, that's the greatest catch I've ever seen.
That may be the best catch
definitely the best Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the best catches I've ever seen. It was just perfectly placed the ball right where only Julio Jones could get it. What can he do? He was well defended. But that when he caught that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm leaving. That's it. That was unbelievable. That's Julio Jones, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So that happened. Okay, the game's over, But then,
Man.
They had, was it the previous drive, the strip, the fumble? That was the previous drive.
Yeah, it was.
This was when they made, okay.
The
Yeah.
The entire time at that point, my wife's mom's boyfriend, we're just going to instead of keep referring him that way, we'll call him Doug because that's his name.
Okay.
Doug kept screaming. He goes, they need a takeaway now. They need a takeaway now. They're going to get a takeaway now. And I'm sitting there and I have a smile on my face because I know that's the passion that you have for your team. And you know that your team's got that capability.
Yeah.
So my wife's mom then's like, they're going to rip the ball right out of his hands. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And I'm like, I'm sitting back there. I'm like, And lo and behold, bam, strip sack fumble.
Yeah.
And
that's when it got started.
And I'm like, well, there it is. The Patriots are going to start rolling now.
That's when they were down 2 possessions.
Right.
Correct. Right. Yes.
Now you fast forward. What I mean,
we running the 2 out of 3 years. Marshawn Lynch. They don't give him the ball. What is with teams not sticking to what they're good at?
I mean, how great did both Falcons running backs play in this game?
Once Devontae Freeman had that, was it the first drive of the game?
He broke out a 40-yard run.
Yeah, 40-yard run. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a long day. They just break hold. They're amazing. These guys. I don't know what happened. They did not stick to the run game.
I don't get it either. Once Freeman and Coleman are sitting there and they're playing well, and they were playing so well that's why Julio Jones got opened up a little bit because they went back and they realized that these running backs are playing so well.
Right.
We need to guard these guys a little bit more, and that's what opened up the passing game. It's the exact game plan that the Falcons wanted. They played it to perfection, and then look what we got.
And you got 1 yard to go, and I'm saying literally before the play, I said, you cannot take a sack here. If you cannot take a sack here, you could drop back. Fine. Do not take a sack. And what happens?
Well, you texted me. They can't take a sack here. You literally texted me that, and then bam, Matt Ryan takes a sack.
And then he drops back, and they're out of field goal range. And then it's like, what? you're giving the Patriots the Super Bowl.
And
Why are you doing this?
And you also remember that there was a penalty earlier on that drive that cost them yards too.
Oh my gosh!
And
that killed them all game too. Those defensive holdings, and they were
holding almost the entire
three
game.
in one drive. I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's unbelievable. You're killing yourself, and I get it. It's Super Bowl. You're amped up.
Right.
You see a guy round the corner, and he's going to crush your quarterback. Man, lay him out.
Yeah,
but don't hold him.
Oh, God, yeah. But Matt Ryan, man, get rid of the ball. I don't know. I know it's tough, but you cannot take a sack there. Run the ball 1 yard. You're in field goal range. What are you thinking?
I mean, at that point, quarterback sneak it for all I care. Do something. Get yourself.
You're going to be in field goal range if you run the ball.
Yeah.
Why would you risk that? Oh, my God.
I don't know why they decided to throw the ball there. And once again, you're right. It's one of those situations where I feel like, this was the same thing with Russell Wilson last year. With the year with Malcolm Butler, you saw that these coaches have great confidence in their quarterbacks, and they're great elite quarterbacks. But sometimes fundamental football, ground and pound, wins football games. And that's honestly, being a Jet fan, that's always the thing that I respected about Rex Ryan is that, so you don't have the greatest quarterback, but if you ground the ball into these teams, they're going to bend eventually, and that's what the Patriots do all the time with LeGarrette Blount. Right. And it always winds up working out. And in that situation, how do you not run that ball?
These are 2 Super Bowls, the last 2 Super Bowls for the Patriots that they got pretty. Listen, they got lucky, but listen, they took advantage of what the other team's giving to them.
Yeah.
And then we go to the down 8 points. Brady gets the ball back. You're thinking, okay, Brady's going to drive down the field, and what happens? Julian Edelman.
That catch, I mean,
and that also, okay, that one, and everybody's like, no way he caught that ball. I'm thinking, okay, let's just see. The ref called it a catch, okay? You have to be pretty sure. That was a tough play to call. I don't know if he really knew it was a catch, but when you see that ball, I'm like, that is a catch, 100%. It's unbelievable. When you see the ball almost hit the ground and then his hand just magically comes under it, it's just like. Everything is going right for this team right now.
I was at the point where, I started standing and pacing because I saw the tide of the game turning, and I knew the Patriots had a really big chance to come back. And I stood there and I watched it, and in my head I was thinking, no way that's a catch. No way that's a catch. No way. It can't be. It's not humanly possible. Nobody could have caught that ball.
No. And that was bigger than the David Tyree catch, I think. I think that was crazier.
Oh, absolutely.
And what an effort. Honestly, give it up for Edelman. Yeah, it was luck. Yeah, it might have been luck. He just threw his hands out there and just whatever. But give him some, what an effort by Edelman.
I mean,
the entire, small little guy, it's amazing.
The entire game you see, if you don't watch the Patriots, like I said, I do watch the Patriots a lot. But if you don't watch the Patriots a lot, you got to see the heart of a guy like Julian Edelman, because that guy, for a small guy, runs harder, hits faster, plays just plays like he's a 250-pound guy, and it shows.
It's amazing what Tom Brady has played with in his career. And Tom Brady has never played, which I heard, he never played with a Hall of Famer. He's never had a Hall of Famer on his team.
I mean, Randy Moss will get in there eventually.
Right, but
as of right now,
he's never played with
him,
which is even more amazing. And Chris Hogan stepped up, had some big catches. Danny Amendola. All year did nothing. Yeah, Danny Amendola had a huge game.
And if you want to talk about big games, I mean, I called it from the beginning of the game. Doug had said to me, "Oh man, you got to look out for Dion Lewis." I said, "Nope, James White. James White's gonna have the game of his career. I guarantee it. I just had the feeling."
Man, and Doug knew what he was talking about, huh?
No, I did. That was my.
Oh, it
prediction.
was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I very much regret calling that because I wish I could take it back, and I was wrong.
James White, man,
my God,
every single person on that team, you have to give it up, really stepped up for the Patriots. Every single player on that team, Martellus Bennett, big, everybody did. Like Bill Belichick always says, "What's his motto? Do your job." Everybody did their
job.
Really, not in the first half, but in the second half, and the offensive line played better in the second half. You got to give it up for their young offensive line. They don't have some no names on their offensive line. Yeah, really unbelievable. And just talking about the greatest, Tom Brady. What is there to say about
This is maybe the greatest Super Bowl game we may ever watch.
That's what everybody's talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
It could be the greatest game of all time. And there are you can sit there and you can watch the game and you can think, man, this was amazing. But there are statistics that back it up. I literally had a screenshot on 4 separate pages, all the records that were broken in this Super Bowl, and it's amazing. I'm gonna try to run through them really quick because there's a lot of them. Most games, Tom Brady, 7. Most games as a head coach, Bill Belichick at 7. Most games won as a head coach, 5 for Belichick. Most points in a game, 20 for James White. Most passes, most passes career, 309, Tom Brady. Most passes in a game, 62, Tom Brady. Most completions in a career, 207, Tom Brady. Most completions in a game, 43, Tom Brady. Most passing yards in a career, 2,071, Tom Brady. That's 2,071 passing yards for a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Some quarterbacks don't pass 2,071 yards their entire career.
Listen, are we going to have this debate? Because I thought it was already set in stone, Tom Brady. Listen, I never watched Joe Montana. I know how great he was. I know he never threw an interception in the Super Bowl. He won 4. But they're really, talking about winning, talking about the greatest. He's one of the greatest winners of all time. That's for sure. I was thinking about this. He really is one of the great, maybe if not the greatest winner in the history of sports,
He is the most,
the toughest position to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know it was different nowadays with the rules and everything, but you know what? It is. There will never. I will call around. There will never be. There's not going to be a quarterback that wins 5 Super Bowls. I don't think again.
No,
really.
I don't think so.
You don't know how long football's going to be. There's nobody now that's going to win 5 Super Bowls. There's nobody who's going to do it.
And Brady is still going to play. He's still going to pad on to that record because you can't tell me that the Patriots aren't going to be the front runners to go here again.
Andrew Luck's not going to do it. Ben Roethlisberger is getting old. He's not going to do it. He's got Aaron Rodgers not going to do it. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not going to do it. I have to throw that in there. But Tony Romo's not going to to do it, even though I hope he wins 1.
Hey, you have guys like Dak Prescott who they could be, they can start.
Hey, maybe Dak Prescott will win 5. I don't know.
But you know what? It's going to be tough. Most touchdown passes in a career, 15. Most passing yards in a game, 466. James White had 14 receptions. It's the most in a single game. The largest deficit overcome, 25 points. The first game to ever go into overtime. There are literally 3 pages more that I haven't read.
And and
it doesn't even matter because you can I can go down and read them all, and it's just gonna be adding on to the fact that this is undoubtedly the greatest Super Bowl game. We have witnessed the best Super Bowl game of all time.
And we witnessed the greatest franchise, probably the greatest team,
if you want to talk about the greatest franchises in the history of sports, you always think about the New York Yankees, the New England Patriots, and I guess maybe the Chicago Bulls and maybe
the Jordan franchise, the Lakers, the
Lakers,
Celtics, all that stuff. But the Patriots,
that's it. They
you're
are
never going to see this again. It's really you have to.
We're witnessing history.
Exactly, and as much as people hate Tom Brady, you could hate him, but you got to respect the guy. You see how great he is, and what he did. After what happened this year, and his age, everybody questioned his, what happened last year. He thought he was going to be benched. It's amazing to see what he did. Come back. It's just not heard of. It's really unbelievable what he did. With the chances of that happening, really.
My joke is that he is an android that was, programmed to play football. And seriously, I joke around about it a lot. But that guy was put on the earth to be a NFL quarterback, not a college quarterback, not a high school quarterback. He was to be put on this earth to be an NFL quarterback. I have never seen a man with more poise, and I watch more Patriots games than I want to admit. And it just every time I look at him, I just look at him like I hate you because you are so
exactly, and he's at the top. That's what he is. That's the best players always hated. They're loved. But I was watching something interesting yesterday. A little thing about when Tom Brady was drafted. Robert Kraft was talking about. When they drafted him, when he first met Tom Brady, and he said, Tom Brady said to him, he's like, "Oh, Mr. Kraft, nice to meet you." He's like, "You know who I am?" He's like, "Of course I know you are. You're a 6th-round draft pick." And Tom Brady said to him, straight in his eyes, he said, "Mr. Kraft, I'm gonna be the greatest. I'm gonna be the greatest pick you've ever had for this team." Something like that. He's like, "I'm going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to the New England Patriots."
It's confidence.
And look what and everybody, and he was doubted too. All these things, too skinny, he's not fast. You saw his 40 time.
in the combine, the combine.
This guy just took every advantage, and you could tell. If everybody had everybody had what Tom Brady was coming in, then they can do it. But he was just.
And then look who you come.
And he had some breaks also.
Of course, but if you look at his career, look who you come in after. Drew Bledsoe is one of at that point was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You have to come back and take the place of one of the best quarterbacks in the league on a franchise that was playing well, and you have to take the helm, and you play so well that one of the best quarterbacks at that time now has to sit on the bench because you've played your ass off and proved yourself. That's who Tom Brady is. He is a premier athlete. He is one of the best. He's one of the best sports players of any sport that you'll ever see in the history of your life. We are really legitimately witnessing history when we watch Tom Brady take the field.
When I think of him, I think of two words. It's great and winner. I think of winner more. You think of Tom Brady as a winner. Tom Brady he's at the top. He's at the top in the NFL, maybe history, really. Tom Brady, I
mean, I think it's safe to say that, look, you can talk about Montana all you want, and I like to throw the argument around there because I don't want to admit this. There's no doubt in my mind that just like the greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA was Michael Jordan,
yes,
the greatest football player in the history of football is Tom Brady.
He's
it.
I believe it.
I hate to admit it, and I
haven't watched all the greats,
inside.
but Tom Brady is, the greatest winner we've ever seen.
By stats, but I mean, look, just by stats, just by, his Super Bowls, just by the poise, just by the person he is. You always look at these guys who are at the top of the game and you think Tom Brady's one of those guys who stayed out of the spotlight, didn't make mistakes, doesn't do stupid things. Like Derek Jeter for the Yankees, was never really put in the spotlight and was never looked into.
Well, the only controversy was the Deflategate. That's it.
Of course. But I'm talking about more stuff off the field.
And they're going to be known as the Patriots cheat and stuff.
Of course. And everybody's going to say it. But look, even take that out of the
way.
Take that out of the equation. They are the ultimate team. They really are. It's crazy. I mean, and you talk a lot about Brady, and we put a lot of praise on Brady. And I think that the other guy that really needs to be called out here is Bill Belichick. I mean, is he? You want to talk about greatest of all time? They have the Lombardi Trophy. I think that in like 50 years, they might have to change that to the Belichick Trophy because he may be, the greatest coach in the history of the NFL.
It's incredible what they've done together. You're not going to see that again, a coach-quarterback combo. I mean, I don't know how many, back in the Steelers, I don't know Bradshaw. I think Bradshaw won 4.
I believe so, yeah.
Or Chuck Noll, maybe. But, these two just, and what the teams that he's never had that great receiver. It's unbelievable. Look at all the great quarterbacks of all time. Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. Who's Tom Brady had?
They talk a lot about the idea that the Patriots have never been one of those teams that have been, over Brady's career, he's never had his guy that's been with him the whole time. You had Randy Moss for a few years.
They didn't win the Super Bowl, though. They didn't win that year. They were undefeated, but they didn't get it done that year.
Then Wes Welker was a name that was that gets brought up, and he's a great slot receiver.
But he's only good with he wasn't good with that.
He was good. He was good when he was when he was with Peyton Manning. But you're now going from greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL to maybe second greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. And then you look at all the other guys. Malcolm Mitchell. What a game! This kid's a rookie, and what a game he had.
Yeah, what a game he had. Yeah,
stepping up in the place of Gronkowski.
Those. And you forget about Gronkowski, and you forget about him.
Gronkowski wasn't on the field. and that's how amazing this team played.
It's about the system. It's the Patriot way. That's what they say, and he has done the most. Tom Brady has made the most out of his career with the least talent.
But Belichick is the kind of guy that throws the right players into the right positions. I mean, you have a converted quarterback playing wide receiver and making the most amazing catch in Super Bowl history.
And you know what? For Bill Belichick, you have to say his specialty is what? Defense, right?
Yeah.
And look what they did in the second half. They shut them out. They shut them out.
And the Patriots are always this team that has no names on their defense that somehow, out of nowhere, become these great players. And then you see them leave the system and they disappoint because Bill Belichick coaches that team to be successful in that system.
I want to play for the Patriots now. I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to play for the Patriots.
If I would look, the thing is that if I was that good, and I mean, look, I grew up as a Jets fan. I grew up to hate the Patriots. But if I made it to the NFL and my number gets called and they say, the New England Patriots draft Albert Albanese, I'm going to go, well, crap, I'm going to go to a winning team. I'm going to play for a winner. I'm going to play for the greatest coach in the history of the world. My teammate's going to be the best quarterback in the history of the game. You can't say enough about what Bill Belichick means to that team because that team would not be, even with Tom Brady, that team would not be who it is without Bill Belichick. And I'm saying it right now. I mean, you can talk Vince Lombardi all you want. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in the history of the NFL.
Absolutely.
I only wish he didn't turn his back on the Jets because that could have been us.
Absolutely. And, you got to give it up for, Mo Lewis, who had the hit on Bledsoe?
Yeah.
It's amazing how it works. Tom Brady, everything changes from that play. That's where it all started. In the tuck rule game and every little thing. They had breaks, but all these little things. But they took advantage of it. and they won. And you know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, to win one Super Bowl. You know, can we talk about Matt Ryan for a second?
Yeah.
Watching him on the sideline, you could see him pacing around. I said, even when I think it was down, we got the 2 scores and they were driving. You see in Matt Ryan's face. You could see in his face how nervous he was. You could see it. I don't know if you noticed it.
I did.
You can see it, especially at the coin toss in overtime. He knew he was a beaten man, you know?
And you knew the Patriots were going to win the coin toss. Like, you knew it. And I mean, you want to put a good spin on everything. The guy who had probably the best game. I mean, you have to give the MVP to Tom Brady, but man, James White plugging it in. And how ironic is it? They're in a goal line situation. They didn't throw the ball, did they?
No,
they ran the ball with James White.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the right thing to do. I mean, and there's of course the next day. Oh, his knee might have been down first. Doesn't make a difference.
It wasn't.
And even if it was, it doesn't make a difference because on the very next play they would have rushed it with James White again, and he would have gotten into the end zone.
I would have liked to see Tom Brady sneak it in there. That's what I wanted to see. I want to see him just sneaking in there for the. You deserve it.
No, that would have made me throw up.
That would make you throw up. Yeah,
I can't have Brady have that.
But you know what? And like
I said,
a
monster. I'm talking way too good about this guy. It hurts.
But again, to Matt Ryan, you feel bad for the guy. It's terrible.
I do.
We were talking about this last week. I was saying how this game for Matt Ryan, how big it was for him.
Yeah.
It could it have gone any worse at the end for him and his psyche.
I know.
He was so close to winning a Super Bowl, and then it got taken away from him. We know how hard it is to win one to get back there. Look at the Panthers last year. We don't know if they're going to get back Cam Newton.
Yeah.
But the Falcons, how do you come back from that?
Look at you look.
Matt Ryan might never have a chance, and I was saying how he could be maybe Hall of Fame if he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's on the verge of getting there, but losing the Super Bowl it's such a big hit to his career. It's so the MVP means nothing to him now. Really, it doesn't. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. What happens next year with them?
The thing is that we both went different ways, and in a way, with our predictions, we were both right. Because I said that the Falcons had, the right tools to beat the Patriots, and they did.
Yeah,
and they
absolutely,
proved
did.
They proved it in the first half. And this would be just think about how much of a different story we would be telling right now if they would have ran the ball, kicked a field goal, and they would have won the game by 3 points.
Yeah.
And that was my prediction.
Yeah.
I never thought that the Falcons were going to blow the Patriots out like they did in the first half. I always knew this was going to come down to being a close game, and we would be singing a completely different tune. We would be talking about Matt Ryan being one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and we'd be talking about Tom Brady saying, hey, you know what? He's won 4 Super Bowls, but he's lost 3.
Right.
And now here we are, as usual, singing the praises of the New England Patriots because the greatest teams in football do one thing, and that's find a way to win.
And nobody could have predicted this, what happened in the Super Bowl. Nobody could have predicted this happened. We thought it'd be close. And the reason, and I said that experience, I thought there was no way the Patriots lose this game. I don't see a scenario where that happens, okay? But the experience matters, and that's what happened at the end of the game. The experience won at the end. The better team won. The more experienced team won. And you know what's scary? The Patriots are not done. Okay?
No, they're not.
And Tom Brady might win 7. We don't know. He might win the next 2.
He could win 10.
They're not done. They're that team. They're always going to be there. And then people are saying, "Oh, Tom Brady should retire." No.
There was a lot of talk. There was a post game.
I heard his wife wanted him to retire.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Sorry, babe."
Post game, they were interviewing Edelman. They're like, "Do you think Brady walks away?" And he was like, "No,
no way."
And they did.
No way.
Did you see the interview he did with Terry Bradshaw before the game, where he was like, "If you win the Super Bowl, do you walk away?" And his answer was, "Hell no." Tom Brady is a competitor. He is going to play until his body can not physically. He's going to play past his body not physically being able to play that game anymore because he can.
And you know what?
Because he's Tom freaking
And they're going to
Brady.
be the favorite again in the AFC.
Of course they are.
Obviously.
What other team would be?
And I'm excited because the Cowboys will be favorite. They're probably the favorites in the NFC next year.
Yeah, more than likely.
But you know what? I'd love to see the Patriots. But they're not done. The Patriots.
Nope.
They're not done. They're going to be here for a while until Tom Brady. Like I said, always say Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are together. Nobody's beating them.
Nope. Can we talk about probably the best moment of the Super Bowl?
Oh, I know where this is going.
How about that reaction Roger Goodell got heading over that trophy?
Oh, it was unbelievable. And you could see it in Roger Goodell's face,
He
by the
was
way.
pissed.
He was pissed. Well, he was embarrassed. You knew. It was all Patriots fans, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But he deserved it.
Yep.
He deserved it. And the handshake with Tom Brady, you could tell Tom Brady was like, all right, yeah, I'll shake your hand. But he didn't want any part of it.
He had to give him that MVP trophy.
Listen,
after
he has
the
the
game.
last laugh, Tom Brady. We all knew that.
Yes, he did.
And, and this is what I said before the season. I said, And I'm happy that it came true because this is how the NFL works. It just seems like it every year, that storybook ending. I said, imagine that scene at the end of the year where he has to, give whatever, hand the Patriots the trophy. And it happened, It was that, yeah, he deserved to get booed. And Tom Brady, you got to give up for there because I did, it was ridiculous what happened with him. It didn't matter in the end, but Roger Kraft called him out,
Yeah.
Robert Kraft, called him out at the end of the year. And
I think, this is going to be an interesting it's going to be interesting to see what goes on because I think at this point a lot of fans are done with Roger Goodell. I think that a lot of people in the NFL might be done with Roger Goodell.
Did you see I saw a picture at Amendola's hat he was wearing at the parade today?
No.
He was wearing a Fire Goodell hat.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it was real. Yeah, I saw it. He was wearing a Fire Goodell hat.
You know what? Look, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that anything that comes out of a Patriots mouth will ever be, but I have to admit Roger Goodell is not fit to run the NFL right now.
Listen, he makes them money.
Yeah, but you know what? I can make them money.
That's all. But you know what? They're not going to get rid of him because he makes them money, and as long as it's a money making business. And
Avi,
that's what I think.
Avi, let's be serious. Me and you can take that position together, and we can get half of what he gets and make just as much money as he does. Because the NFL is a brand. You're selling the rights of a brand that people are crazy about. There are more people. I think there was a statistic that came out. There was more people playing fantasy football this year than there was I can't remember what it was compared to, but it was like some asinine statistic. The NFL takes over the world for 16 weeks. Well, I'm sorry, for 19 weeks. The NFL takes over the United States. And it takes over other countries. I was listening to the next morning. There were calls of the game in Britain and in Australia and in Spanish. This game was broadcast all over the world. This is the biggest sport in the United States. Anybody can have that job and do it successfully. Roger Goodell is further, just proven that after this whole thing, he doesn't deserve to have that position.
Right, but he is not the ball. He works for the owners.
Of course he does.
And the owners love him. They do. Because they make money. That's all they care about.
Of course.
Honestly. And the concussion issue, there's all these things. But, Goodell, does it really matter? You want to hate on Goodell. Does it really matter?
I guess it doesn't, but in a way,
I
guess
understand.
it does.
Maybe if you're a player, whatever, because he fines you for anything. It's ridiculous, these rules. With the touchdown celebrations, everything. Does he makes those rules? He makes those. These things really piss me off. Those touchdown celebrations. You can't do anything anymore. You can't have fun. You can't spike the ball. You can't dance. It's ridiculous.
The idea is that the idea of being a sport is it's competition, but there are fans, and what you're supposed to do when you're in an audience is entertain people. So you know what?
As long as you don't go over the line like Randy Moss mooning the crowd, what?
Yeah,
let them do what they want. Let them have 10 seconds of fun.
You don't do anything controversial like throw up gang signs, and I don't care. Do what you want to do. Have a good time. It's fun to see that kind of stuff. Some people actually do like the idea that some of the celebrations were cut down because I think it puts a little bit of novelty back into the game. It makes it more serious of a game. But you know what? Look what we're calling it. We're calling it a game.
And a lot of these little 8-year-olds love the game. They want to see that, They don't want to see they want to see a player dance for them or whatever. That they get flagged for it. It's stupid, and they get a penalty 50 yards. It's the stupidest thing.
Kids want to emulate their heroes. When you're a baseball fan, you play in the park with your friends, and you emulate the batting stances of all your favorite guys. When you're a football fan, some of these guys, you throw a touchdown, you do the little, Cam Newton Superman shirt rip or the discount double check belt deal with Aaron Rodgers. These are the things that you see, the big spike that Gronkowski does. This is like what they're known for. And, now you're taking away everything. Oh, you can't slam dunk the football on the goalpost. Why? Why can't you do that? And you know what? If they want to say, you can hurt yourself, then that's his own. That is Jimmy Graham's own stupid fault for hurting himself because that was the guy who was known for doing it.
Oh yeah, well, the best picture I see him slamming. T.O. once had an awesome. He dunked it over the goalpost on the Cowboys. Like that's like these things are like legendary. You see these on like highlight reels. You see these types of things, but now you're gonna look down the line and these highlights and you're like, oh, that guy was flagged for that probably.
Yeah. Oh, that guy got a 15-yard penalty.
Look,
you don't go overboard like Odell did. A couple of weeks ago, where pulled his helmet off and he's kicking field goal.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with Odell. Anything Odell does, I'm fine with him getting a flag because he deserves it, obviously. But,
I agree.
Yeah. So
there's these things
they have to fix these little things here because it makes the game and the referees are they're all Listen, they do their
puppets.
job. Yeah, they're puppets, but they're bad. They're all, they're not that great at their job. It's like in any sport with the referees,
No, there was a lot of missed calls in that game too. A lot of people are going to go back and look at that game and say maybe the Falcons kind of got screwed a little bit. Maybe people can go back and say the Patriots might have had an easier time.
Because you know what, holding happens all the time. Defensive holding.
There's defensive holding on every play.
Every play, it really is.
There is. But
the ones we saw, they were holding. Yes.
I mean, there was one where I think it was where somebody was zeroing in on Ryan. The guy had him around his neck. I mean,
Yeah.
You pick your battles.
It was just, and also just an amazing ending to the season.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's just football every year. It's just like, oh, you can't wait till the draft. You can't wait till next year. What's gonna happen next year?
Like the Super Bowl just ended, and a part of me is thinking, God damn, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life now. We don't have a game to cover next week. And it's not fun because football's fun. And it's fun to see what goes on. But the thing that, Jerry Jones has been very vocal about doing this, and, the thing the NFL has done is making the NFL a year-round sport. And I think, that's something that, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of. I wouldn't be surprised that after the Super Bowl wears down, maybe in another week, we start seeing some free agent movement. And then we start seeing some, scouting. And then we're going to start talking about the draft.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the teams have drafted and free agents have landed and trades have been made, blockbuster trades that you wouldn't expect. People are going to be playing for different teams this year. Some guys might retire. Some guys might come back. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we're going to find ourselves in training camp again, talking about the NFL coming back. And it's going to feel like it never left.
And you just brought up Jerry Jones, made me think of my Cowboys. I just want to give it up for Dak Prescott winning Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Congratulations.
Along with, Zeke Elliott went up with him. They were both, everybody played into it. And
you want to talk about classy? Dak Prescott saying, I wish we can cut this trophy in half so we can give it to
absolutely.
each of us.
You know what?
Classy.
I thought, they could have both won the award. They could have shared it.
They could have.
Why not? The MVPs were shared before.
If they were two Man of the Year winners,
exactly.
Could be.
And you know what? Congratulations to Coach Jason Garrett.
Absolutely.
As much as I was never a fan of him, I really never was. But you know what? He had to have played some role in Dak Prescott what he did this year. He was a quarterback. He had to have some role in it.
Yeah.
And he did deserve it. With Tony Romo going down, with the two rookies coming in. I thought that they had a great offensive line. I thought Zeke Elliott would be great. But Dak Prescott really, he had to play it into it. It's a team effort, and he really did deserve it. There's a lot of good candidates, but he deserved the Coach of the Year.
I mean, I agree. I think a lot of people also did get a little bit mad because I think a lot of people did feel, especially I have a few very vocal Patriot fans on, that I'm friends with, and they were like, "How does Belichick not get it?"
Yeah, and how many has he actually won?
I think he's only won 3.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Right.
But like in all honesty, how do you to take a team to have one of the best? To have what they were tied for the best record in the NFL, the Cowboys, right?
13-3, yeah. Yeah. With the Patriots, 13-3, yeah.
So
they were the best team in the NFC.
You're tied for the best, with the Patriots. You're tied with the Patriots for the best, record in the league, and you have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back. How do you not deserve Coach of the Year?
Yeah, he deserved it. And it's a big. We'll see what they can do next year. But yeah, he deserved it. This is a year, for that year award. The MVP is not always the best player. It's the most valuable player to that team that year, the best player that year. That's how it's looked at.
Yeah.
And obviously Dak Prescott deserved the award. But I thought Zeke, played a part, and I think they should have shared it.
Yeah.
I thought Zeke was going to win it, actually.
So did I. I think everybody kind of did. But I think this is one of the first years where you look at all the awards that were given out across the table, and the NFL got it right.
Yeah, they did. And
there really wasn't. There was not. I mean, there's not much controversy.
Yeah. And defensive player of the year. Who was defensive player of the year?
It was Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack. Yeah. What a beast he is.
And this is like one of those years. I mean, J.J. Watt even said it. It's one of those years where it's wide open because J.J. Watt's presenting the award because he's not in that category.
Right.
That's that's wide open.
Yeah.
It's a great and it's great to see some of these other guys who are a little bit more of unsung heroes that have great years every year. But J.J. Watt's just such a beast that you don't get that opportunity to see it.
Khalil Mack's a star and he's a star already.
It's a stud.
And that team is,
they're going to be contention. They're always going to be a team that's going to be, that's going to be one of those teams that you're looking at. It's a playoff team next year.
Yeah, definitely. And who else? Defensive player of the year, Joey Bosa.
Defensive rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year.
There's a guy that we had a lot of controversy over. You don't even know if he was going to even play, and then he comes out in his first couple of games, he looks like
like J.J. Watt.
Yeah. You're thinking, I don't know how good this guy's going to be, and then holy crap, he turns on the Jets, and he proved it to everybody that he's NFL ready.
Oh yeah, he's definitely NFL ready.
Wasn't a waste of a pick.
Another Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
Well,
all in all, I think that this has been a fun NFL season. And this is coming from a Jets fan saying this has been a fun NFL season.
It has. You had your disappointments with your team, usually like you usually have.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I had a thrill for a while, and then it got taken away from me. With the Cowboys, but I took it better than I thought I would, but it was an amazing season because I know the Cowboys have a good future.
The future's bright,
and I'm excited to see where Romo is going to go. If he goes anywhere, we don't know, but I would assume he's going somewhere. And like I said, wherever he does go, I'm going to root for him. I'm going to be rooting for him, that team. I hope. I hope the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, but I hope he can get one. And you're saying, imagine that scenario. Imagine the Cowboys have to play, like, let's say he goes to the Broncos. Cowboys playing the Broncos in the Super Bowl with Romo on the Broncos. Can you imagine that? That might be the highest rated game ever. If that happens.
Speaking of which, can you believe how crazy this wasn't the highest rated Super Bowl of all time?
I'm not surprised. Right. Especially after, because people probably tuned out after.
Maybe. I mean, but even still, I actually thought that and I mean, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I think Lady Gaga did a good, she performed well.
She was
good.
She wasn't the best, but
it was good. I thought it was a good halftime show.
It was very good.
It would have kept people's interest enough though to maybe watch me a little bit into the third quarter.
Right.
Maybe that's where people did start to tune out. I mean, I think there was a photo of Mark Wahlberg leaving the stadium after the before the Patriots made the comeback.
That's what they said. But she did. She did what I thought she was going to do. She was great, but it wasn't the best. I liked Bruno Mars a few years ago in my life. That Super Bowl. I thought he was great. But how great were the commercials? Did you watch?
Which ones were you talking about? Because I feel like there were
so
3 commercials and that was it.
Oh yeah.
The Justin Timberlake Christopher Walken commercial was pretty good.
That was great.
I thought that was really good.
And the Terry Bradshaw with the stain.
That was really good.
First of all, did you notice? First of all, when I was watching when they were talking, it was before the commercial when he had the stain. I'm like, he has a stain on his shirt. I'm like, what's going on? Like, and they didn't say anything about it. And then they had it was after. It was really well done.
Yeah, they set it up really
well.
He
had a stain over there. Did you know that? Like, what's going on here?
And apparently he did.
Yeah, apparently he did. And the Mr. Clean.
That was really good
great.
too.
There's a lot of great commercials.
The Skittles one was pretty good too.
I thought there was a lot to go on. I thought it was better than the previous.
Maybe better than the previous, but I think that there's definitely been better. I think
right. There's been better.
I think you expect. I mean, there was a lot of political stuff this year.
Oh yeah.
I think that's maybe where we lost a little bit of So we used to the upbeat, funny kind of stuff. There was a lot of, and
serious,
even if it's not political, there was a lot of serious messages going on. I mean, look, this world's a crazy place. There's a lot of big serious things going on. A lot of big issues that people believe in, and so maybe this is maybe this was that year that we took a little bit of a break from the funny and we took a little bit of a hard look at ourselves as a country and to see what we're doing. But it's Super Bowl. I want to have fun at the Super Bowl. I don't want to take a good hard look at my country. I want to.
And the most patriotic, the America's team or the other America's team, won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Patriots, and.
Well, President Trump picked them, so I guess maybe he's like.
He did. He's never wrong.
Apparently not. Let's not get into that. That can be a very long podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I get that's the end of the Super Bowl edition of the Opening Whistle. This has been a hell of a season and a lot of fun. I know we joined. We started doing this late, but we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll catch our breath. And we'll wait. I'm telling you, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have a whole bunch of crap to talk about again.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot to talk about.
And it's gonna be fun. We get to. We'll do. There's a lot of stuff we can do. We'll do a huge prediction show. We can start talking about some of the guys. Look, me and Avi both are huge fantasy football players. We can do, dedicated, we can talk about some drafting strategies. Talk about some of the guys we think that'll break out this year.
And we'll throw some kinks into our show, some new stuff.
Look, this is a work in progress, and I think we've had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm enjoying myself. So
absolutely,
let's have some more fun.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Exactly. So for this is, once again, the Super Bowl edition of The Opening Whistle. I'm Albert Albanese.
And I'm Avi Schiffman.
You can find us on Twitter at The Opening Whistle.
And me, Avi, at Avi Schiffman88.
I'm sorry. You can find us on Twitter at The Slam Sessions. You would think I did this so long.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I'm losing my touch here. I'm a little sick if you can't hear it on my voice.
All right. You're doing a great job, Albert. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
I follow your lead.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you this season, and we'll be back soon with some more NFL coverage. It's been The Opening Whistle. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for listening to The Opening Whistle, which is a part of the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. You can find us on Twitter at The Slam Sessions. We'll see you guys next time.